How's it going, everybody? I appreciate taking time to listen to me. I know there's a ton of different pages out there. There's a lot of content to consume. So the fact that you're taking time to listen to me is very much appreciated. And I know you all have busy lives. So again, appreciate taking time to listen to my page and my video and to me. I'm your host, Josh. This is my page, Travel Dawn to Dusk. The whole purpose of this page is to go through my planning process on how I go about planning my trips. I'll always say at the beginning of my videos, I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. I'm merely an amateur traveler that has gotten pretty good at planning out his trips. And I've traveled to a bunch of different areas that people now ask me, my friends, ask me for advice on planning out trips and help me, help provide them ideas and different things. And I thought instead of me just telling them, why don't I create a video on my processes and how I go about it and share it with everyone? That way everybody has an idea or everybody gets the knowledge that I've learned through experience and vice versa. If you see my processes and you think, hey, I can do better than that or I have better ideas, please share them with me. More than happy to look at your ideas, more than happy to go through the process and learn different things. I always like seeing how different people do their different go about their different processes and planning a trip. So in today's video, I'll be covering step 4 in my travel planning process, which is picking out the lodging or where you're gonna stay. Step 1 is the picking the destination. Step 2 is the budget. Step 3 is figuring out the activities. And step 4 is the lodging. Quick note I wanna make, in the video I might reference it as step 3. That was just a mental error on my part. I wasn't really paying attention, just called it step 3. It's in fact step 4. Step 1 is the destination, step 2 is budget, step 3 is activities, and step 4 is the lodging. Almost said it again. It's lodging. So without further ado, I'm gonna flip the screen. I'm gonna share my screen and go through my processes. Hope you enjoy, hope you find some value out of this. There are 2 tools that I think are essential to picking out where you're gonna stay. Hotels.com and Airbnb. Depending on what you're going for, these are the 2 sites that I always use. They're not the only sites out there, but in my opinion, they're some of the best. They have some perks. They're easy to use. They're, user-friendly, easy to cancel. I've had, terrible times using Expedia.com, trying to cancel a hotel. I had to, eventually call. I got redirected to do another call. It was a complete nightmare. Hotels.com and Airbnb always offer a free cancellation. It's a button when you reserve a place, you just hit cancel. But I would make sure that the listing or the place that you want to stay at or booking has the option of a free cancellation. Sometimes they have non-refundable options in there. Usually they're at a cheaper price. That's why it's non-refundable. But you want to keep your eye on the fine print. Another thing to mention too is when you're booking a place that has free cancellation, sometimes it doesn't offer 24-hour cancellation. Sometimes there's a window that you have to cancel within. It might be a week within your travel or your trip. It might be a couple days before. It might be 2 weeks. Just pay attention to that after you book and get your confirmation. It'll always list it in the fine print that your booking or that your reservation is free to cancel up until a certain point. Most of the time it's 24 hours, but if it's a popular spot, popular time of the year, they might have a window that's much shorter, so you have to cancel well in advance. And then another one that I've had experience with is sometimes you'll offer, say, a cabin in the woods or in the mountains. I've done the cabin in the woods. It's funny, but a cabin in the mountains or something like that, where it's done through Vrbo. So there's some other fees associated with the booking, and I think the cancellation was something like a month in advance or something like that. So again, if it's like a cabin or anything like that, always pay attention to the fine print. Sometimes it might get confusing, albeit I've never really had any issues with it. Just I want to make sure you're cognizant of that. There are some occasions where the cancellation window is smaller than you think, or it's not necessarily 24 hours. Alrighty. So hotels.com. This is, I don't want to say my preferred, actually, yeah, and I'll say it. It's my preferred method of booking hotels or booking for trips. And I say that because after 10 bookings, right? See right here, hotelrewards.com. After, booking at 10 nights within this, using this app, so you book, you stay someplace 10 nights using this app, you get one reward, or one night reward, where it's basically the average cost of the hotels that you stayed at. So say for example, you stayed at 10 hotels and each night was around $150. The reward night that you get is a value of $150. So pretty good perk. I like it. Another cool thing is if you use this app a lot, I think I'm like, I don't know, maybe a diamond member. I forget which member it is or whatever it's called, but essentially you get like secret prices, 10% off. Sometimes I've stayed at hotels where they've given me bottles of wine because I've used them, use this app so many times that I'm one of those reward members where they give me a bottle of wine when I come for my stays. Cool perks. I wouldn't say it's crazy amount, but I like free bottles of wine, so I'll definitely take it. I like secret prices, a little bit off on some of my hotel nights, but the biggest value I would say is definitely getting the one night free after 10 nights. So how to use this app? Basically, you want picking your check-in dates and your check-out times. Whatever your trip is, say you want to travel, June 10th to the 12th, or maybe let's go with 13th. Let's get a little crazy. 10 to the 13th. So that'll be your travel time. Say you want to be just you and maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. Maybe it's maybe you're a family, you have 2 kids. So you can add that, add the age in there, or you can add another room to it. Say you're going with another family. You can do all these different options. Say that there's 2 adults, 3 kids. You can put all that in there, remove a room, whatever it is you want to do. You have that option. It's going to give you a bunch of different options, or once the search populates, it's going to give you a bunch of different options that fits your travel party's size. So let's do London again. All right, let's go to London, search. Alrighty. Here we go. So typically how I go about it, obviously reviews are number one. It's kind of the number one thing I look at. Well, obviously price is in my price range. $472 a night, probably not something I'm gonna go with it. But look, fully refundable, reserve now, pay later, before Thursday, June 9th. So yeah, it's just 24 hours beforehand. Most places are going to be like that. Most places are going to have a 24-hour cancellation policy. That's how most people do it. But see this one right here, June 3rd. So you have to cancel almost a week before your trip. So that's not uncommon. I mean, I don't want to say it's uncommon, but occasionally it's going to pop up. Like, look, your hotel London City, May 27th. So that's even, it's 2 weeks? So sometimes that's going to pop up, and that's what you want to pay attention to when you're booking a refundable, fully refundable hotel. You want to make sure that there's a window and that you know what the window is, so that you make sure if you're not going on this trip or plans change, that you cancel on May 26th or whatever time on May 25th, 7th. So it might be like 5 p.m. local time, whatever it is, that you cancel in that window. Drinking some mud water here. Highly recommend that to anybody as a coffee alternative. Love it. Love this stuff. Might do a little review, might do a little video on mud water and why I like it. But stay on topic for this video. So you go through all these different options. Maybe you want to, popular filters, free airport shuttle, Hyde Park. This is just going to be some options with the hotels are, next to, with the star rating. I don't pay too much attention to the star rating. It's never something I've really been a big deal to me. Again, I'm always going for reviews and price. I think customer reviews and the price are 2 of the biggest things you need to pay attention to. Is it fit within your budget, and are you getting good value? Do people actually enjoy their stay at this hotel? Obviously, looking at pictures is a huge one too. And then obviously, again, location. So I'm not, I want to say particular about my hotels, but it matters to me. So I'll go through this list, right? I'm going to kind of look for good value picks, right? So Tower Hotel London, $185 a night, 8.6. Not bad. It's pretty good. Typically, I go for 9 and above. Typically, that's a pretty good hotel. At least most people think so. It's a pretty foolproof. 8.5 and above is a good rule of thumb. Even 8. I've stayed at 8s before. They're not going to... excuse me. They might not blow you away, but they're pretty good. Let me see, 9.2 for 202. See, this is a good one. This is a secret price available to me because I use this all the time. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's kind of cool. Collect the stamp, 9.44. That's expensive, but it looks nice. 8.8. So let's do Lehman. Let's see what this one looks like. I like the pictures. Looks very clean. I like that. I like clean. Looks cozy. Oh, look, what is this? I get a little hair cleanser like that. Nice little touch. That's, I guess, assuming that's the building. It's a nice little building. Lehman Lock. Ooh, there's a little bar inside this place. I like that. Charcuterie. See, I'm kind of liking this place. All right, so hotel. The pictures kind of check out. Let's see what the location is. All right, Whitechapel, City of London, Waterloo. I want to say this is the London. Is this the Tower Bridge? Yeah, it's the Tower Bridge. This is not a bad location, honestly, considering it's kind of, I want to say the financial district's a little bit over here. I'm not that familiar with London, but this looks like a pretty good spot. I don't hate it. The tube makes everything super accessible. I mean, it's right next to a tube. That's another prime thing to look for in a hotel. Is it next to a subway or metro stop? And this one's 2 blocks away. Yeah, this is a prime location. I like it. Especially if you want to do an entire day you're here, you don't have to use a tube. We just kind of walk, go get breakfast around here, do Tower Bridge, go to Borough Market, London Bridge. You got, what else? You got the Shard over here. I think the St. Paul's Cathedral is not too far away from this either. Now this is pretty nice. And say you want to hop on a tube and you want to explore, this side of the city, right? This is, I feel like when most people think of London, this is, Buckingham Palace, Hyde Park. I think Covent Garden is right over here too. You got St. James Park, Westminster Abbey, the London Eye. But honestly, the tube might be one of the best metro stops I've ever had in a city that I've ever experienced in my life. Very clean, very efficient, and it gets you to almost any point in the city without having to walk too far. Look at all the different stops. They're all within, several blocks of each other. Maybe. So let's hop on here, and I don't know the metro system that well, but you can just hop on here and just take a tube all the way over here if you wanted to. So this one I would save. I would save this location. The pricing kind of adds up. It's non-smoking, air conditioning. It's got a gym. Each room has like a little kitchenette. Let's see, off-site parking, $45 per day. That's not terrible. I don't know, depends if you have a car or not. Dining, it's got a little bar. You saw like a little bar, cafe downstairs. I like that. No, I like this hotel. This is a good one. I would recommend staying here if, this might be one of my places that I star. Rooms look nice, looks very clean, location's pretty good, price is reasonable. Yeah, no, I like this one. It's a pretty good one. But typically I'll find like 3 or 4, maybe 5 places to stay. And then, kind of narrow it down from there. Maybe you can find a better price, better value. But look at that, 9.2. People love this place. All right, 436. If you got the money, good for you. I'm not paying that much money to stay in a hotel unless I'm splitting it with several people. So it's a little outside of my price range. Look at this one, 8.8, pretty good. Refundable before June 7th. Let's look at this one. All right, it's a 4-star hotel. So that's, again, I don't pay too much attention to that, but that's kind of surprising. This looks like a pretty good spot too. Yeah, like it. I like that. A little bar cafe area. Look at that little breakfast spot. Good pictures. Got a little gym if you want a little workout. Someone's had a wedding here before. All right. This is all looking pretty good. I like the rooms. I like the hotel layout. I like it. All right. 8.8. Most people like it. If you really wanted to, you can comb through reviews. I do that sometimes. Just click on here. See eco-friendly, property conditions, amenities, staff. Cleanliness is probably my priority number 1. If this were anything below an 8, I ain't staying there. I am not. But 9.2, very good. So This is probably my number one. Staff and service. I honestly treat a hotel as a place to stay, so it's always a nice luxury. Amenities, always a nice luxury. Cleanliness is what I really want. Is it a nice place? Is it clean? The amenities and everything else is pretty much secondary. Property conditions and facilities matter too. So this one and cleanliness are my two priority. Amenities, staff and service, eco-friendliness, not huge, not a big deal to me at least. Like I said, when I'm traveling, I'm pretty much traveling all day, hopping around. I come back to maybe shower or change for dinner, or maybe just to sleep. That's what I use a hotel for mainly when I'm traveling. So I don't care too much about amenities. I do if they have a gym. I love having a gym. Makes me feel a little less, guilty, eating my face off and drinking till my heart's content when I'm traveling. So getting a quick little morning workout in before I start my day, always something I like to enjoy doing. So if they have a gym, I love it. If they don't, not a huge deal, but you'll be walking plenty throughout the day. So gym, not that important. Let's see. Can you filter by... I want to see if you can filter by bad reviews too, because these all look very good, but I want to see what the poor is. Just 2 out of 10, no reasoning. It's not very helpful. Let's see, what else do we got? Fair. Okay, here we got something. The room was tired and felt grimy. It smelled of smoke. The bathroom light continuously above it, blah, 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 blah. So this is, not a great... I cooked breakfast, so his complaint was a little bit about the breakfast. Asked for it to be cooked. Interesting. Pastries were stale. Looks like he did not have a great stay. Okay. Most people are saying it's good, so I'll say most people think it's good, then it's probably good. It can't please everybody. There's going to be negative people all the time. So, for the most part, 8.8, good place. Like the rooms. Let's see, what is its location? Okay, location's not terrible. I want to say the Harrods Shopping Center is somewhere around here. Someone who lives in London probably knows it a little bit better than me. I'm going off my memory here. I think it's over here. Harrods is somewhere over here. So location is okay. Not great. I like the location of the other one better. And I say that just because it's not terribly far, but it's not super close to a metro stop. That's probably going to take a little bit of time to get to. I do like that it's next to Battersea Park. So, nice little area to walk around. I'm sure there's probably some decent spots to grab breakfast or something. But it looks like it's kind of out of the way, right? It's not next to too many of the stops that I'd want to. Maybe if you want to go a little bit more of a secluded, off the beaten path, this might be a good spot for you. But most of where I want to stay in London is going to be in this area. This is kind of where I think it's happening. For the most part, the bars, the sites, the food, I feel like it's typically around here. But again, that's just my preference. So this, to me, not a terrible, but I would definitely slide it to the more to the bottom of my list. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna do one more just for the sake of time, so I can use Airbnb a little bit. Take you through using that one. So 6.6, not loving it. Lockett, Broken Wharf, 9.2. Kind of like this one. 251's a little bit pricey. Good picture. 8.6 rating. A little bit of concern. I'm gonna come back to this one. Let's come back. Let's see. I'm trying to see if something's within the price range that I was looking for. If it's next to Piccadilly, it's probably a good location. All right, let's go to this one. All right, where was it? Dorset Shepherds. It kind of looks like it's far and out of the city. Let's verify that. Oh yeah, this is no good. Yeah, I would not stay here. That is so far out of the city. No way. All right, no shot. You can tell it's not even remotely in the city. If you want to get outside of the city, then sure, maybe. But I'm imagining if you're traveling to London, it's not to enjoy the burbs of London. right, let's do one more. Let's try this one. 382, feeling pricey, feeling good about ourselves. 5-star booking, like it. Ooh, I like little artsy. Man, if you got that room, it's a nice little view too. Is that Big Ben? Man. 382. All right. Oh, I like this place. All right, so this obviously a little bit more luxurious than the other two places we looked at. Price tag kind of confirms that. People like it though, so it's good value. Let's see what location is. Oh yeah, this is, in my mind, this is prime location. Look at that. Yeah, you're right in the middle of London. I think you're not too far from any of the metro stops. You're not too far from the park. You mean if you really wanted to? I think the museums are around this area, so you could walk to one of those, then go to Hyde Park. This is a great location. If I were taking my family here, aka on my mom's budget, and I just help supplement it, absolutely staying here. On my own, I'd have to consider it, but this is a good one. This one I would book in a heartbeat if I could afford 382 a night. Let's see, is this the fully refundable? So 382 a night for entire weekend, 374. If you're going with someone, or if you're going with one king bed, yeah, so you can't really go with anyone. So hey, if you are in, say, your early 30s, doing pretty well for yourself and want a nice little weekend trip, this is probably within your price range, and this is a good spot. I would highly recommend this one. And it's not crazy overpriced, right? You're not spending like $600 a night. 382 is very affordable in the heart of London. Good location. Looks like a great spot. Everything looks pretty walkable. Reviews are good. This is a top-notch spot. So that's kind of how I go about using Hotels.com. Let's do the same thing for Airbnb. All right, let's go to check-in date. Let's do same dates. Get a better idea. Monday. We're going to London. That's where we're going. Alrighty, book it and search. All right, so big difference. If you've never done Hotels.com or Airbnb, Airbnb is more of a place where it's, well, I'm not gonna say more of a place. It's not hotels. So if you're looking for a hotel, you'll be really disappointed in using this site. But if you're a couple or if you are a family and you're looking for a little cozy house or something that's pretty affordable, most people will rent out their houses. They might rent out a room in their house. Be very careful of that. I've stayed with hosts before. I've never had a problem. The host that I stayed with was in Charleston. His name is Walt. Love the guy. Very nice, very helpful. Helped us with everything. But if you're not comfortable with staying with someone, then it's probably not a place for you. So I would always be cognizant of that. But so just for example, this is a 2-guest, 1 bedroom, 1 bed, 1 shared bath. So this is not a private room. It's just a private room. So look at that, private room. And so zone 1, zone 2. So this is probably almost similar to, I want to say like a hostel, but it's similar to like, you're staying in an apartment and there's 2 rooms, and one of the rooms for you and one of the rooms for someone else. I've done this on numerous occasions. I've never had a problem. It looks like most people booking here 4.9 out of 5. It's a super host. No one's really had a problem. It just really depends on what you're comfortable with. If you want to stay in a place by yourself, then something like this is more your speed, right? Entire rental unit in London. Actually, let's go ahead and just check this one out. So here's the rooms. Here's the apartment. Nice. It's decent. I like it. Nice little room. So yeah, if you want to do a little weekend trip, you want to be a little bit more outside of the city, because look, it's over here. So again, I picked over here is where I want to stay. This is over here. $95 a night, $362 for the. Excuse me, Jesus, for the weekend. This is where you want to go. I would not pick this place. It is way too far outside of the city for me. Typically, when I go to cities, I will use Hotels.com because for me, it's easier to find a hotel within the city that's at a decent price. A little bit more challenging with Airbnb. I find that Airbnb typically works better if you're in more like the suburbs, or if you're going to a national park, or if you're a little bit outside of the city, or if you're going to like a beach town, like for example St. Augustine or Charleston. I used Airbnb. But if you want to stay in more of a cozy house, have more space to yourself, then this is probably what you want to use. And it tends to be a little bit cheaper. So this one actually looks like pretty good price. Entire condos to yourself. So I kind of like this one too. All right. So good pictures. Like it. All right. Reviews canceled before June 5th. So like a week out. Airbnb is going to be a little bit more like that. Very rarely do you get a 24-hour cancellation with Airbnb, just because the hosts need time to fill the spot if you cancel. So Melinda is the host. She's a super host. It's a great location. Can't tell the fees for you. There's usually a cleaning fee and service fee associated with Airbnb. So $636 for, what do we do, 3 nights? 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah, check out on 13th. So 3 nights, 4 days. Pretty good. 16 reviews. A little bit lower than I like. I typically like having reviews closer to the 30 to 50 range. Probably prefer 50, just because that's, more people that's been in there. I have a better sense of whether or not the place actually lives up to the rating. Because if 3 people stay in a place and it has like a 4 or a 4 something review, that means 3 people think it's great, but then someone else comes by and it's like, oh, it's not that good. I give it a 2. So out of like 50 reviews, if it has over a 4.9, it's probably a good spot to stay. Let's see. So most people like this. The location's pretty good. So I mean, this would be a place I would consider staying at. Location is right here. It's a little bit farther than I'd like, but it's still kind of in the range of where I'd want to be. But let's look at this place. 4.36, a little low. Let's do this one. So this is kind of a little bit more. Location I'm looking for, 4.62, pretty good. 21, I'll take it. You get the entire unit to yourself. So you can split this between 3 people. 741 for the entire 3 nights, 4 days. I kind of like this one. So yeah, I'd consider staying here. So for the sake of time, that's kind of, I'll probably stop it here. So just to kind of give you a brief recap, my 2 apps that I use for picking a location is Airbnb or Hotels.com. Hotels.com I typically use a little bit more, but it's used primarily just for hotels. And you get the free night when you stay 10 places using the app. Airbnb, on the other hand, is a great way to find value spots where you get an entire unit, like a condo or a little house or a little cot or whatever, to yourself, and for a pretty good value. Those are the biggest advantages of each one. You can find high value hotels, cheap cancellation, comes with perks. That's why I use Hotels.com. If you want to find a value place to stay using Airbnb, it's like renting a house for the weekend. You're not going to have any cleaning service. You're not going to have any of that with Airbnb. It's pretty much just you renting out a spot for the set time that you're staying there. There's not too many there's no staff cleaning up after you. There's none of that. So don't expect that when you use Airbnb. But you're going to find a great little cozy place for a good value, and that's probably one of the huge perks of why I use this one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So like I said, step 3 was lodging. Those are the tools that I use to go about it. I've kind of took you through the process on how I pick out my places, where I want to stay. And if you have any other questions, feel free to drop a comment in the section. Or if you want to reach out to me directly through DMs, that's fine too. Or if you look at me and you're like, Josh, you're an idiot, I do it way better than you, please let me know how you do it. I'm more than happy to see how you do it. I think it's always fun learning how other people do different things. I'm always open to learning. But again, I appreciate you all hopping on, appreciate you giving me the time of day, and I appreciate you all listening. Have a great day, everybody.